18 years and counting. Look what I've become, mama. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Between the Lines podcast. I am Mason, also known as Mace Y, and I'm going to be talking about my song Mama, Your Baby is Dead, which is the title track for my latest EP, Mace Tape 1 Eulogy. This song really serves as the anchor to a lot of what's coming out in the next few months and what has previously come out too. I wrote this one, and it just became an anchor for this next era of music for me. So it's called Mama, Your Baby is Dead. The structure's weird because it has a verse, a bridge, and a verse, and that's it. There's no chorus to this, but you'll see there's still some repetition that kind of keeps some structure within the song. The first verse starts, 18 years and counting, look what I become, mama. Airing out my issues, confronting my traumas. Still life gets hard when I'm in my pajamas. The darker the night, the stronger the demon, if I'm being honest. So with that, I'm talking about, so a lot of this came from, and I'll mention it later, came from graduating and realizing that, my past, my childhood, my innocence in a way was behind me. And I had to do a lot of reflection. And a lot of that reflection came from writing. But confronting my traumas, airing out my issues, I write a lot about what I struggle with, whether it's in relationships or just personally or with my faith. I write about it a lot, whether in a book or in the music. I like to write, and so that's what that kind of means. And then life gets hard when I'm in my pajamas, dark in the night, strong in the demon. I feel like night time is a time where I really struggle with just, bad thoughts and negative thinking, but also just temptations and loneliness and things like that just creep in. And, when I put my pajamas on, the lights go out, I start to struggle more than I do in the daytime. And it's just a weird thing that I've noticed, so I put that in here too. And then it goes, 18 years and counting, man, I done grew up. I know I might leave soon, but I'll always keep your love in my heart, and in my art I'll show proof of you and Dad teach me what the truth was. So the song is written to my mom. She is just something I think of when I think of being a child, which that should make sense, but she's raised me with my dad. They've raised me to be a young man that I'm proud to be, and I know she is sad that I'm growing up, and so am I. So that's kind of what this is about, is like, Mom, I'm right there with you. I'm also mourning my childhood, just as you're mourning the past that we had. So this moment right here is, I might leave soon, but I'll always keep your love in my heart. One day, and I've mentioned this before, one day I'll have to leave home. I'll have to go get my own house and get my own place and have my own family. And I'm excited for that, but also it's really sad to have to leave my parents and my brothers. But I always love them. I'll always keep their love. I'll always have love for them in my heart. And then in my art, I'll show proof of you and Dad teaching you what the truth was. I was raised Christian. I am a Christian, and I'm just so thankful that they raised me that way. And that plays a big part here in a minute. But I'm so grateful that you raised me that way, and I can't not put that in my art. I can't not put that in my music or in my writing. It's just something that is in my being, which I'll explain here in a minute more about that. Then I continue. 18 years and counting. Yeah, I just graduated. Everybody around me saying congratulations. Mama, I'm a man now. Yeah, I finally made it. Now I wonder what's next. Can't show no hesitation. When I graduated, I felt like I had to have it all together or have some kind of plan, and that I couldn't hesitate. And it seems like, though it's nice to have a plan, it's not always going to work out, and it's important to think sometimes and hesitate a little bit just to have time to think. So that's what that's about. Is like, I graduated, everyone's saying they're proud of me and congratulations, and I'm proud of me too, but it's hard to celebrate when not only am I mourning my innocence, but I'm thinking about what's to come next, and I'm unsure about what's to come next. Then this verse ends, 18 years and counting, for this I done bled, sweat and tears, fighting for dreams in my head. Mama, I'm sorry, your baby is dead. That's the same thing the doctors could have said. So the first half is, sweat and tears, fighting for my dreams. I bled for this. I don't think I've bled physically, but I definitely think emotionally and creatively I've bled in some sort of ways for the dream that I have to come to life, for music to come to fruition, and for my writing and just my creativity to be seen and to make some kind of profit, but also just to make an impact is kind of my dream. And 18 years and counting, I've been fighting for this dream. Even when I didn't know that this was the dream, I was still working toward it. God was still leading me toward it, so that's really cool. And then these last two verses are really kind of the weight of everything. Mama, I'm sorry your baby is dead. That's the same thing the doctors could have said. The full story is in the second verse, but I'll just go ahead and explain it. When I was born, I came out of my mom's womb with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and my throat. So my neck, my throat, and my stomach. I couldn't really breathe, and they had to unwrap me there, but also couldn't digest or my stomach was wrapped up too. It was very scary, and obviously I don't remember it, but the way it's explained to me, it was scary. And the doctors could have told my parents that I died. I could have died, but they didn't, because God was with me. God had his hand on me, and that's what this song is about, growing up, but it's also about God's hand on me, and you'll see that here in this second half. So the break here says, Lord, lay your hands on me. I trust your plans for me. Don't know the man I'd be if you hadn't laid your hands on me. So not only has God kept me alive all these years, and not only did he keep me alive when I came out of my mom's womb, struggling, but even throughout all these years of pain and different things that I've gone through, he has had his hand on me. And in hindsight, I can see things so much clearer, and how he works all things together for the good of those who love him, which is Romans 8:28, and it played a big part in me writing the song and just in my life recently. If he hadn't laid his hands on me, I don't know the man I'd be, and I don't want to know the man I'd be if God wasn't guiding me. And then the second verse goes like this. I'll break it down after I read the whole thing. July 21st, 2006, around 7 in the morning, my parents about to have their first kid. The way I've been told, it was storming, hospital lights flickered, umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and throat. I'm sure the devil snickered. Could hardly breathe, could hardly digest. Now I'm speaking from my chest when I say that I'm blessed. I'm sure they had to take me from my mama to make sure I would live. God's hand his hand on me, and he hasn't let go since. So that, I think, paints the picture pretty well of what the night that I was born was like, at least from what I've been told. Storming, hospital lights flickered, the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and throat, and then I'm sure the devil snickered, because if I went to live my life for Jesus, and I think the devil would want me dead because of that, because he doesn't want me to use what God has given me and to be used by God for his glory. He wouldn't want that. But at the very end, I say, God's had his hand on me, and he hasn't let go since. Even when I thought he had let go, he didn't. And that's just something that I have to keep in mind and have to remember. So that's the breakdown of the lyrics for the song Momma, Your Baby Is Dead. I want to talk about the production a little bit. So I started with the piano that you hear, and I just felt like it gave that good intro, gloomy, almost dark vibe. And I don't know, I liked it a lot. I really liked the piano. And so I made that, and I made the drum beat and the bass, and it was all kind of in a pocket and grooving. So I took that, and I wrote these verses. And I wrote this when I was 18, and I'm like 19 now. So I'm almost 20 this summer. So it's been a while since I've written this, but also this still hits for me. This is one of those songs I'm really, really proud of, and I hope you all enjoy it. I hope that you can take my experience and look at it from your lens of your life and your experiences, and see how God has had his hand on you as well. But yeah, this is Momma, Your Baby Is Dead. My EP, Mace Tape 1, Eulogy, is out now. This is the title track, and we're going to keep on breaking down these songs in the upcoming episodes. Thank you all for listening. Without further ado, this is Momma, Your Baby Is Dead. 18 years and counting, look what I become. Mama airing out my issues, confronting my trauma. Still life gets hard when I'm in my pajamas. The dark in the night, the stronger the demon, if I'm being honest. 18 years and counting, man, I done grew up. I know, I might leave soon, but I'll always keep your love in my heart. And in my art, I'll show proof of you and Dad teaching me what the truth was. 18 years and counting, yeah, I just graduated. Everybody around me saying congratulations, Mama, I'm a man now. Yeah, I finally made it. Now I wonder what's next. I can't show no hesitation. 18 years and counting, for this I done bled. Sweat and tears, fighting for dreams in my head. Mama, I'm sorry, your baby is dead. That's the same thing the doctors could have said, Lord, lay your hands on me. I trust your plans for me. I don't know the man I'd be if you hadn't laid your hands on me. Amen. July 21st, 2006, around 7 in the morning, my parents about to have their first kid. The way that I've been told it was storming, I spit all lights flickered, a umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and throat. I'm sure the devil snickered, could hardly breathe, could hardly digest. Now I'm speaking from my chest when I say that I'm blessed. I'm sure they had to take me from my mama to make sure I would live. God's had his hand on me, he hasn't let go since. Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Between the Lines podcast. I am Mace Y. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mace_Y_ and go check out that new EP, Mace Tape 1 Eulogy, which is out now. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you next episode. Peace.